Radio was this kind of an artist. Osano kuba sineya najiyimbirako nefuko limbo lwakabi. Like you can give him the most trash producer ngatamanyi na byakola. Radio just nafunamu melody emu najiyimbirako najiteeka kama rose irufuko luyimbo. That's how talented that man was.
I'm from a beautiful place, the Pearl of Africa. Hailing with a 256, it's in my blood. That's a gem where the mountains rise. With stories untold, the tapestry of cultures unfolding so vibrant and bold. A symphony of stars, a celestial light. The drums beating, echoing through the night. Just like a beacon of light, a reflection that's coming up from the Nile. I'm flowing straight into the heart of Africa with timeless stories untold. What's up, dog?
1, 2, 3.
Welcome once again to the Ugandan Boy Talk Show podcast. On the show where I'm dedicated to bring you stories of the celebrities or regular people, anybody out there who wants to come on here to share his life story or share some things that will benefit the listeners. And today I'm very honored to have the one and only Andy Music in the studio. Andy, welcome to my podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting me. Yeah, I've been seeing you, and it's an honor.
I knew you before I hosted Zagazillion. I had heard of your name, I had heard of your music, I've heard of your work. But on my podcast, I had Zaga who was talking about his journey in music, and later on in his life, he got connected to you and the work you have done with him in his production. So I figured I wanted to get time to sit down with you and have a conversation about this thing of music. There's been a lot of stories going on in Uganda that we're going to dive into, mostly through producers, the kind of music we are making, what's affecting producers, and how musicians relate with producers. But I also wanted people out there to know your journey. I've watched a few clips here and there on Instagram where you're reminding these people about your journey, like, hey, we hustle through these things, and when we demand money, when we demand this, we deserve it because we have struggled through that. So this is a place where I want to host people, talk about their journey, so that people out there, when they tune and listen, it's like, hey, and but this is what he's been through. Maybe that will help them to know you better and know your work. So that's what we're going to be diving in today. But to begin with, I just want to walk us through your journey into the music industry and how you got into this producing industry.
Actually, it started with me with the love of music. In fact, my main aim was to be an artist, like singing. It wasn't even production. But I came into production in this way of, like, people never used to produce what I wanted to hear, like the beats especially. I was so hungry, that time when you're starting, you be like hungry. I wanted something different. Like we were in the by that time I joined, it was the era of Washington, Swangs. And then the other producers, the Tony Was, Pademan, the style of music there. And then the music that was a bit cool was the Bebe Cool music, Chameleon. It was kind of different. Of course, there were many guys. Then Swangs was kind of bringing it to this level. And then, they inspired some of us. I remember those days I went to Swangs when they were still in Muyenga, took my beats to Benon, like, to check out, to tell me what's up. I was so shocked on how he responded. Like, he was so positive. He was like, yo, this is good. I could produce. Then I produce, sing. I had a crew called TX. We would sing like different places in bars. So that's when I went to Buddies. It was a bar that side on Tinder. We performed as usual. Then from nowhere, Kajzora pops up. Then he's like, yo, who is this guy who sang this song? Well, they call me back on stage. And this guy was like, sing that song again. I performed the song again. It was called Asola, some old song. Then the guy's like, you know what? Are you signed? Are you under any management? What? I'm like, no, we're just solo. Like, he's like, from today, I've signed you. You're my artist. What? Ah, man, that was like the birth of and the music.
That's a cool journey, and it's great to hear where you've come from. And again, like I said, this helps people to understand better. When you sit down with a person to have a conversation with them, it helps you understand them better and get to know them. And actually, like, we're going to be focusing in your life, but I'm going to bring in some life scenarios that have happened here recently that you've talked about. And this has been like the relationship between musicians and producers, because even Washington came out to talk about that. You guys have been not complaining, but like letting people know about your position as producers in the Ugandan music. And I remember a clip you made about Dr. Proper that came out and talked some stuff about producers. And you said like, if I'm brought to a program or studio with you, I'll help educate you. So we don't have Dr. Proper today, but I'm sure somewhere he might get that information. What happened, and what were you trying to let the people know?
Why that thing took me off was in a way, like, I've been in such scenarios. Like, I've worked with artists for a long time. Of course, we had this era of, like, you just come in studio as bros, you work, you don't talk about money, you just do for the love, That was then when we were beginning. And even when time for money came, artists have a way. They always find a way to sweet talk producers, to, they show you, like, if you make me this song, I'm going to make your name go out there, what. Okay, at first it was like that. But then as we went on, you realize, like, as a producer, you have to put your terms, like, you have to be clear with artists and what, because I've had scenarios whereby you've worked for guys, and when they make it, they switch, like, they continue, it's okay. I'm not even complaining, like even if they change the producer, but there's no, like, that appreciation. There's no that thing of mutual, this is my guy. We began with this person. When people, like, make it here, they move on.
Yeah.
Like, they start seeing you in a way, like, and also there's this thing of artists, they look at producers like underdogs. Like, you're working with someone, but they have this mentality in kusing and they work happy. It's like, I'm doing you a favor, It happens to many young producers. But now some of us, we've seen it. We are not moved by, even if the status is high or you're a big star, we care about business. Because if you look at even our laws here, there's no way, okay, producers get the list. There's nothing that protects a producer apart from then, like, maybe putting some rules and trying to follow. So when someone comes out and say, because me I wrote lyrics and you made the beats and what, so let's work, like, let's just work like that. And because even me I brought my lyrics, even your beat, that is, to me, it is you're not counting that this is a skill I've invested over maybe my life. You're not looking at the fact that they are utilities, daily expenses that I encounter, maintaining the studio and all that. So for them, they want, because they came with their lyrics, they want you to just work, and call it even, which is not fair.
I definitely understand, because you also mentioned, like, you invest your own money to buy the computers, the softwares. So people take advantage of that, and you give them a good beat that's going to do their song. And sometimes when they win these awards, they don't even remember the producer, They just take the awards themselves.
Like, there have been scenarios of, like, you produce a song, and then probably it's taken for endorsement. Maybe say MTN is using it for, of course they look at the artist.
Yeah.
But now you find that the right way to do it is they have to also, like, go back to the producer who made this beat and what were. Most artists, you find that they never involve the producer in the whole thing. They'll go, have their share, and you, the person who came up with the beat, they just tell you, man, pa beat here and give it. They can even go to another studio and do it from there. But in other places or other countries where business is serious, I don't think you can do such a thing. They will always look for the original creator. Then, so you find that those are all things like young producers need to understand. Like, they need to set their standard, have their prices, then make it business. Even if, okay, there might be this, you have an artist, you love them, this is your guy or your friend, what, at least agree on how you guys are going to work, because you never know. You make music, but things change. A song blows, and, these days one song can even change your entire life, But it's unfair that it changes an artist's life.
Yeah.
A producer is there. That's why you see we have many producers who are struggling in Uganda. Many of them, like, they're struggling. Yeah, and it's because artists make it and they don't look back.
Yeah, I was still having a conversation with Selector Jeff, and he was talking about like musicians and creatives. When you make it big, don't forget your team, don't forget your people, because some people, you help them, give them a hit song. Now, if he makes the money, he's not going to remember you. He's just going to move on and even maybe change another producer. And then his life like just goes on like that and they forget.
Yeah, it's funny because you see, when even those artists, in Uganda, there are many artists who have made it and now they are nowhere. So you find that they cut off the chains that maybe this producer would be there. Maybe the producer understood him. They have a good chemistry. Like they can work things and things happen. But because when they made it, they showed this guy that
yeah.
So you find that the producers also yanyiga. And there are many things like that here. Yeah. There are many things, and if you move around producers, those are the kind of things they talk about. Artists like they've worked with, they come far with them, and when guys made it, it was end of story.
There have been a lot of stories that have gone on social media about producers taking advantage of like the female artists, like the young female artists that come in like, hey, this producer, and some of these girls go on like the news and internet, and they just put these stories out there like, hey, this guy, I went to do a song and then he does this, he didn't want to pay me and then they used me. Are those stories true? Do you think, in your opinion, and some of these people make up these stories?
I think it's two-way, because it's also how these girls come to the producers. Like, it's a mentality of people thinking that because you have a certain skill, you're going to just go and get free things. It and people are different. Some people are just some people are demons. Some people are like any other business. You see, right now it's like production, but you find that different sectors have the same problem. You find people in offices there, to get a job somewhere, they want to use a woman for, Me, I think the professional way, you should look at the work. If it's talent, appreciate talent for what it is and be clear, like this is what I learned as time went on. Like, be clear, like talk everything from the word go. Then in case of any change, but the problem is people jump into work without understanding where things are going to end. So you find that after the song, the girl doesn't know whether it's her song or it's the producer's. Maybe even the way the girl was behaving around the producers, the producer, maybe she showed some kind of, intimate kind of. So it's a lot of mixed feelings. And
I also think like on that point too, like some girls don't have the money for the song and they actually go ahead and they just try to offer that, like they offer that because they don't have money for the song.
Yeah. Some girls actually straightforward. They come to marry the producer so that they make music.
Yeah.
She'll come, day when I gamba on Andy Tampo.
Yeah.
And buli kyayagala and call it. But then when you disagree, then but me, I think that what I've said, like, it has to be clear from the word go. Like, you need to talk about it to avoid future clashes like that, because it can cost you a lot. Like, maybe by the time it has come out, you were going to be on some endorsement. Now companies cannot associate because they're hearing, things like that. So I think for creatives, we have to look far. Like, we are going into a time where this art we've been struggling with is going to pay.
Yeah.
It might not pay you, it might pay your child, it might pay the next people you mentor. For the love of the industry, like, let's try and uplift the Ugandan music and try to tighten the structures and make sure that we are operating at least on a standard that is recognized worldwide. I think we have a lot of talent. Even like producers, we have a lot of amazing talent, like young producers. But the thing is, they need direction. They need some guidance, because this thing comes with fame. A young boy, like me, by the time I was but you see that thing I said with buddies, what?
Yeah.
That time I was just 19 years. Man was from school. We just went with my boys. We went to perform. You've landed movie into. Like, life has changed.
Yeah.
You're seeing people you used to look at on TV, like you people you looked up to. You're with them and they are listening to you. Then people are paying you money. You, like, how we be in school here. There are some monies you never see, but now here you're seeing the money. All the ladies are coming to you. So it takes some people, like, okay, now the young boys, like, it messes them. They make mistakes.
So you in the beginning, actually, you said you're a producer, you're an artist yourself, and you're a songwriter. There's been this ongoing argument, but not argument, but this. Okay, I'll call it an argument between two different camps of people. There's people who are defending good music and good lyrics music, and there are people who are defending the so-called bidandali music. As a producer, what is your take in that different two camps? Like, because a person is going to come and for you, you're just making beats for that person. Do you agree that with people who are saying, like, okay, the vulgar music is killing the Ugandan industry, or do you think all music, whatever music you put out, just put out?
Me, I think when you talk of vulgar is everywhere. Like, even international people are vulgar, like, people are cussing them. Okay, I'm not saying that it's okay, but also me, I think in Uganda here we have to give audio more time. Like, people here just come, do one take, two voices, and that's it. Then the beat, the producer, you make the beat active and all that. Me, I think music, the sound has changed. There's a lot in music. People use different elements. People do even sound design in music. I think we you see why Nigerian music sounds the way it sounds, like it's catchy and everything. They put in time and they pass it through process. Here we just play with music, and it's because people have not been educated to understand the value of being in that position as an artist, or let me say a celebrity. They still look at it as it's not, That's why you see the whole attitude of how they look at creatives here. They don't take us serious. They will never take an artist serious, even if you stepped out to do. But now the artists, all the creatives, all of us, we need to take this thing serious. We need to value it. We need to put the price up so that serious businessmen can be involved. Serious companies can get interested.
Some people were saying, like, we need to make music that will be remembered 15 years from now. But there's some people now who are focused on, I just want to make music right now, like for now. I don't care about 15 years for now. I might not even be there. And I'm not going to mention any names, but actually an artist for that song himself was on the TV. He's like, hey, I sang all these songs and people were not listening. That's why they got that line, like someone says, I sing the song, then I said, can you maybe no?
I think some people come in with short-term goals, and others come in with long-term. But then also, there are some people who come in just for the short-term goal for the money.
Yeah.
But some people come in for the love and the beauty. They want to see that they experiment, they research, become masters, and teach the world. So, but okay, because of also the situations, like the way people are, our backgrounds.
Yeah.
You find like someone just wants it for that money, that easy money, so they will do anything. They will, but okay, those are like disadvantages in any business, like the way in production, like manufacturers are always fighting with fitters. Now music also, we have such people, like there are those people who just come and play with the sound, but the solution is the guys who love music, we need to step out. We need to give it all. You see the way this guy from Masaka will show you that agenda tunde takaria aja teke mu music asasule TV, sasule radio, again amalo gona agatekewo naye kati fe no ba cool guys tulaba we want Jesus to come and help us in the process, but the reality goes back, man. You have to put in money, because it's business as usual everywhere. Promo, it's business. Like people, you have to feed a lot of mouth so that you also get. You have to give to get.
What would you advise the young kids that are coming up? And now we have an opportunity to have you on the podcast, to have this platform. I'm sure as a producer, you've seen it all. You've seen everything. What's a word you would tell a young guy out there who is planning into jumping into music industry? What's the one thing they need to look out for? What I would say, before you say, let me do this, do enough research. If you can, try and reach out to the guys who have done what you want to do. Even if they are there, mu Uganda bagamba producer yago ako tacha kuba ngoma nungi. Even if you hear such, you go to that producer, because he knows things that you don't know. He has met people that you want to meet. So it's only wise for you to come to that person. Maybe they will give you some insights, and you avoid some mistakes. You like being taken advantage of, because these artists don't joke. They'll use you as much as they can. That's a good advice, and I'm sure people will have different opinions on different things. Like even if they say, your producer Yagwamo, Baba Yagwamo, there was a time in his moment where you're Wakabi, so he will help you for you to, with when he was Wakabi. Aina connections zotaina. He can reach where you can't. He speaks to people with authority that so you need them. They should come. We can always engage. Likewise, even us, the producers, like, let them not also be rigid and reach to these young guys where they are young producers who are good. I've met a few, but they are boys who are good. They make for you sound omulungi. So it's only also wise for us to learn from them. And maybe with time, if time so chitunuliranga industry, because me I see that the music in Uganda, people talk about the industry, fraternity, but individual. We are not seeing it as an industry yet, because there is nothing chitugata. Actually, because we see the United Uganda Music Federation coming up. But if we want, and this is coming from a fan of music, I'm not a musician, CD producer, I'm just a fan of music, I listen to music. But for me, looking at it from the outside, I feel like we might talk twins every day, like, hey, twagala music wafagende wana go over Nigeria. But it has to take the musicians themselves, first of all, to respect their producers and to budget for their producers, because trust me, the beat adds a lot to your song. Like you can have the lyrics, and I remember Washington saying, like, some musician come to the studio and no, take a kengoma. And the song is good. They don't follow.
By the honestly, like producers do a lot. Like now me, I even harmonize for artists. I will direct an artist when they are flirting, imba off ngam no sing like this, because you find that since for us we be like to be more sound, we are always sound factory. We are sound factory. Like you know some things, you know the shortcuts. Umuntu wa call a certain kind of voice, you know where they want to go. You see it already. So we do a lot for them to what directing how we do. But you find that we were getting there take we interview, like they're talking about themselves, which is okay. No, nothing like, you know, even if they tell you how did you come up with this, they'll tell you, they'll all normally bagamba, man, I was there and then put a vibe, what. You might find that actually the producer is the one who came with the beat namugamba to so me, I think chintu singa to chijamu, like looking at it individual, nituchirabanga industry chirabanga team tugamba. All are the days of fire-based crew, when it used to be the time of cruise. Ojukira that industry, wali of fire-based crew, bichi bantu baberanga mu bibinja naye nga la Bobby Wine we achikuba babucha mane bachikuba we had the master parrots, we had everyone in the crew, and bari maje like they were moving like kati singa kale tugamno. It's not groups, not crews. Let's just say an artist, just know your boys, now know your people. Like, no, this is my guy, I like this about him, this what they olida abulamu we encouraging or introduce some stuff to them. Mugambe, man, let's go this way. Young girl producer, you can learn this and this. Like nituzimba that kind of system and networking amongst us. Netwewange mirimu. Netuberanga nga if wawalo chinechiwalko gamba my boy and china chimala. Nange we wankubira mbu mwatwagala artist ono nze ngamba chali wangono ya chimala. So tuba nizo networks netuzi building atene is becoming so strong. Maybe beef tebibera.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so some people, you see, those things go for the katimuchino bibera we bityo, but it goes deep to like emotionally. Some people nechiba vira ko depression, other people even just give up. Never vacuum music. Other producers never chivako. Me I know many producers, man. Abamu bali yo kati down mugeto bali kunywa buvera bakubwa, and yet once upon a time these guys were bad, you know, and it's all big. I think never artist when you never lover, and instead of maybe, you know, encouraging or do something, babogira kate bogezi never bageya never basekerera. So you find that someone isolates themselves never be. But some of us cutting hands, I conquered those things mentally. Like nafuna other ways, other avenues. Like yes, music is my constant, it's my baby, I love it. But production is wide. There's sound design, there's movie scores, there is adverts. You know, you can create adverts for companies. You can, sound, like every business somewhere, somehow sound is involved.
People, the unit, people and that's why a lot of people look at Nigerian music as the top, which it is, because it is, even me being here in America, obera ku radio nibakube ulimba rwa Burna Boy nokaneka chinza ndi uli akodi ku ulimba rwa Bebe Cool wano ku Uganda, one we akodi ulimba rwa John Black wano ku radio US. But one thing I've noticed, and you've talked about it here, what do you get about unit? Until these people bakwatagana, they support each other. Ngaba artists. Ntine wano we wali yo NBA, was it NBA All Stars? I think 2022. baleeta Nigerian artists Burna Boy, Davido, Batims, they're all singing on one stage and they're all like artists from one country. But one here, abantu abamu tebaagala kuyimba n'oli ku stage emu, like, you know, like they put competition in everything.
The daba, that is just immaturity. No kulaba ebintu mu ngeri entono. Because a lot of these Nigerians, for them, they see this thing so big. Like, when they are creating, they are not creating for only Nigeria. They are creating for Africa. They are creating for the world. So they see the need for being one. Fena to fighting at the same market. So abamu balaba nze bano sola baleka we banyingirira bajja kundi awo bichi. But me, I think that's a narrow way of looking at it. Nze ndaba what twekola mu networks mu netuyanga tukwatagana, we become stronger. Ekirala mbuno newe tuba tunyigiriziddwa, we speak with one voice, cause oli walemesebwa nange baba banemeseza nawe baba kulemeseza, so nate kati wano oli we bamulemesa ono lyesanyulye which is bad for the business. Ze ndaba twetaga that unity, twetaga okutandika okufaayo buno tutya abantu abatusanyusanga, what's up with them, tubanoonyegako, you know, we get to know what's going on, you know, because you know we only realize the person was so valuable nga takyaliwo ku nsi, netuwulira nga kituluma naye nga tetulina kitusobola kukola, nate nga when the person is there tewali muntu agala kuwulira. So me, I think ebyo nabyo tulina obikolako, ebyo kijja tuyamba even olawe tubeera collective bityo bantu bangi besides music. Different artists have different other skills. Abamu they very good with management, very good with writing, so you find that if you get to know each other better, musobola okutulanga ne mu creating ebintu, then you are attractive and big investors. Because ebyadala Ugandan music, we need investors. We need serious investors. We need kati okay, like these Nigerians also baja in Uganda. Luckily, somehow, bankubira essimu nentwala my studio, like I rent out my studio. Naye wola abantu bano ba boys batambula ne bale abasajja abakulu de ogas kibuto omulaba yebya music sina byaliko nga businessman ali mu bidala bali mu babya mafuta bali mu ki, but they are moving with these kids. They are going with them in different countries for exposure. They come ne bachiringa in Uganda just to see your people, to know your slangs, to know your cities, to know something about Uganda. Before you know the next song, they babatedde mu basudde mu Kampala, basudde mu simanyi girls what. So they are talking to you before you know. Mubaagala nnyo and you're streaming their music. Mubawa nnyo sente. Kati nze ndowooza n'abana Uganda, we need to start moving, at least for now. Like the dreams the Cameroons had those days of, you know, they go to Kenya, they looked at East Africa, like ate baakikola mbu baakikola kuba with time baba batukanye bakiva kuba ebintu just byakyuka, I don't know, but baakiyina. So nze ndowooza we need to go back to that way. Mbuno tulina ogendanga out there. Of course, I'm seeing a few artists trying to do it, but we need to take it hard. We need to go hard. But to get them with those countries, we need artists want to be exposure. They need to see. Just to see things. It will broaden their thinking and also. But I could take it music. Takoma Kampala, Takoma Uganda. You know, most of our artists are comfortable. That's why we have wars. Buli omu akolerera cricket over.
One of the things benaiga musomero nti growing up twakula nnyo nga tuli bintu bya community, like Africa, Uganda, it's in sha community. Tufayo oli omuntu waafa ku kyalo fena tugenda tukola ki netumuziikirako fena naye kati wano ate ebintu alina bi expecting yo mu nsi z'abazungu okubeera nti oli alina emmotoka ye, alina ennyumba, alina buli kimu kye yeetaaga, teyeetaaga bantu. Naye kati ffe tukulira bwe tuva ku if we leave that grounding of communityism ngabo ogambye muyimbi munanga struggling kamukwateko tukwateko. There is that saying that say we rise by lifting each other. Atochogeddeko awo ngamba nti bwe twekwatako ffenna ate tugenda kuyimuka ffenna. So ate obamu kuyimuka abalala bake abalala baveewo gamba naawe kenyini gwayimuse ate tosobola kiwanirira wekka oba weetaagako abantu abalala.
Yeah, kyonona business cause other sectors baba batulaba bagamba nemwe katogeola jola parents bamba bakyali tough paka kati mwana anga twagala bayimbi twagala barasta twagala cause there is no muyimbi rasta who is making it to a level of their saying buno msegera ngachiri out of music msegera. So but music can give because the world has showed us that people are living their best lives because of what they do, the art. But we need to correct loopholes wona tulina obufixinga ate nga butandika naffe from the ground wano mu studio, then negotiation, packaging, ebintu like bino kale bantu babimanyi nate batona babikola ne babitwala nga ebinobeera. I liked what I saw Apas talking about something. Mbu wali abayimbi asiba mu baara buli lunaku nata asuubira bamu booking in December tebamusasule sente nyingi. Segera like you're there because bakugambye kati ola mukozi wagambye kati twagala tuyimbireko mbate kati njagalayo $2,000 munyanyine baraja nakusekerera cause manyi what comes with okubeera amabara olosi to maintain status and what usanga mbo inaye banja usanga unanyine bara badda kukwana mpola mpola kuwa ebyokunywa byabwire kati watu kiro gamanyimbira kumbe yeche yali abala tukugambo muyimbire mbate nsasula akulabanga omusiro atategeera aba ajja kugamba wano this guy man abira ne wano tabana sente za biki atayagala musasule what or you will be forced or negotiating less than what you need to get. Yet if you look at your journey, the investment, the time and what zisinga no or settling for. So I think we just need more insight. No respecting what we do.
Njagala kudayoko in your career and what you do, so this can help people to know you better and people to appreciate the work you're doing. You've been in the industry for a long time. What are some of your memorable achievements or projects, collaborations you've done in this industry that you remember? I'm sure there's a lot, but you can pick a few that you're memorable. No gambe no.
There is one moment GNL Zamba and Leila. One moment, Mukwano, one moment. In fact, that was like my first song with Kubadis. Then another was when I worked with Fear. And then Fear and Cats. We did, I think, an album. Like all those songs, most of them were hits. From It's Not About Money, Where Have You Been At, Ole, Je T'aime, Mpola, Sheribu. Man, there are many songs.
Yeah.
There's also a collab I did with her called Anjagala. Some people say it's their favorite gospel song.
Okay.
Nalimba Nefi those days, yeah. Then, of course, Big Bumper. Then I have a couple of songs I did with Munji. Big Bumper, we did Bia Rema, Bia Yanga, we did Mbwase. Then Rabadaba, we did Love Potion. Give me your love potion. Yeah, then
yeah. Now, speaking of that, speaking of that, Ochimani, I don't know if other people feel like that. Ochimani to the songs the people used to do back then, like they were good songs. And if you get those songs and bring them back today, it's like they were good songs, good lyrics, good beat.
You see, they were that beat of unity still. That time we used to do it just for our guys. You know, of course, there was business at a certain point, but it was more of love. And those days, our strategy at Buddy is like, nga ba DJ, abayimbi abasinga basiba. So you find that you do a song, guys come, Andy, kaimba kuda tukawulira man it's a bad tune okamaze mpuya man katube ku flash like 5 guys come ne bakatwala 2 weeks ago the song is everywhere. We used to have those guys, some promoters like Navit. We used to have, there are many boys Munji used to move with. We used to have DJs, even those of Slick Stewart, Roger. They used to come around. I think even Roger's drop, the one is DJ Roger, the turntable assassin. I made it there at Buddies those days. Like everyone would just come and we chill there. And so you find that industry, nanga, to vow, doing it better. Like, yeah. But of course, with time, and to watch you, people grew up, abamu, baza, labazade, they're out of Uganda. So, yeah, nature and to watch you, like things change, yeah.
The reason why I mentioned that, kwange nyimba zoyogede kozo na like GNL Zamba. I was in high school, nga GNL Zamba, nga tuuliza Zamba.
Like, yeah, you're making me feel old.
I was in high school, yeah. But no, I would pay a lot to like go back to those days. Simanyo barwa kubanti that kolera nnyo nga tuli mu ssomero, you know, like those are songs, they hold a lot of meaning in our hearts, but like now you hear the music abantu gwe bakuba nga toconnectinga naye bulungi nnyo. There's a few people abakuba music go resonatinga naye naye okuba akayimba kedda ne wano ne Khalifa we yajja nga
now Khalifa, there's also that song I did for him, Waniko Mukono Aganaga music, log on and the music. God. Hey DJ, yo, then man, yeah, that one. Then there is Radio and Weasel, Simonino, Kwagala bya dala. Yeah,
that song is good.
I met Radio then, and we connected. Man, Radio was such a wise guy.
Somebody made a statement and said Radio was ahead of his time in music. Radio is still my favorite artist in Uganda.
Yeah, me what I can tell you, when I was in studio with Radio and even Weasel, just because I want to say Vagala Kiriza, but Weasel is so talented. No Radio, like those guys had reached a level. Mbono Radio yali kati atandika butandisi tu wa. He was going now deep. Wakuba obulamu tebwamuganya, but those are answers zisigadde zonna. Let them just listen to Weasel. Weasel is talented, and Weasel still has that life of when he brings it on stage, you feel the good life. You feel the spirit of good life.
Yeah.
And for all people who used to love Radio and Weasel, man, Zendoza muulirize Weasel, but Radio was, man, that man was amazing. He was so talented. He just gave us a glimpse of.
Yeah, that's the thing that I liked with Radio and Weasel.
Nendo was like even the way he used to look at things. He was so real.
Like, I don't know how many collaborations Radio and Weasel had with other musicians, like by Irene Intali, by Spice Diana, like everybody. And that's the thing that we need, like people who are kwata kokumokono.
Radio was this kind of an artist. Osano kuba sineya najiyimbirako nefuko limbo lwa kabi. Like you can give him the most trash producer. Ngatamanyi na byakola. Radio just nafunamu melody emu najiyimbirako najiteeka kama rose nirufuko luyimba. That's how talented that man was. Yeah, but R.I.P. man.
Yeah, R.I.P. Radio. That guy's music hits home. Tulao into album number and so kanji kubanga muliza. Mwana kaimba wimba bwamani. So you are a producer, engineer, sound engineer, artist, a vocalist, songwriter. How do you balance those? You know, what do tugamba wanonti? Yeah, just people bakumaninga producer, but you have other ventures of things like you can do to make money and to. How do you get time to balance all that stuff to be able to do it?
Olakati with music, chonanchi rabanga sound. Like even like singing or sound engineering, it's like me enjoying actually what I've created as a producer, and then nenchiwa different characteristics, nenchiwa texture, nenchi making and nenchi sounding maybe heavier and it's all sound. It's in the same chirabira in the same loop. Then songwriting is also like omuntu wajja nagamba andi inayo demos changu, or we just talk about something nombulira story, then ngamba maybe let's sing about love, but we togere batu like chona chiri in the same line. Maybe for movies, okay, still same line wakuba yo wojifuna owe nokusalako emirimu emirala. Like I've worked on JDC. JDC is a kids it's the first kids TV series nga it's musical in Africa. It's produced by Manzi. It's a Ugandan production. So in that series, the kids, of course, they act, and then somewhere they sing. It's on Showmax. It's airing on Pearl Magic. We did season 1 is now on Showmax. I think people have watched it already. Season 2 is still airing, waiting to season yokusatu. But you find that for movies, they can book you like for 7 months, and they want terms different. They want like all movies or sounds olira tension, nolira ezikukavya ezikuwasenaku, those things. So all that. Also you go to okuteka sound to maybe a character. Maybe whatever recording their footsteps, and then you have to create those things. So yeah, if you have a target time, but it's same. Same thing.
So do you? That's why I'm going to ask you another question. Like Bionabit is the same thing. All of those, is that your favorite? Like when you're doing one, you're like, oh my gosh, I would rather do this for the rest of my life, or I enjoy myself more doing this one.
Actually, it's funny, but I love to sing. I really love to sing. But Embeda tekuganya will need money. You find that singing, I have to invest like some money. Charles says I have to like invest money not what production yezimpa. So that's why Sangambo call production for nekusente. But if there was any other way, I would choose Nyimba, because I feel like my life nunji nyoku stage out.
Yeah.
You burn energy, you speak your mind, you connect with people. Yeah.
You did a question, but you did a remix for Out of Control, ne Henry Tigan, ne.
And Akine, yes.
What started that for you to do the remix? Go about to Kiyoba Ibajan to Chikore.
No, actually Akine yaja. Nga mazoku tukira Henry Tigan. I think they met somewhere. Akine, sometimes she has gigs Ayimba. So I think they met in one of those places. Then she came, she's like, Andy, I met Henry Tigan and we talked about this. Is it possible for us to do Nemuza? How are we going to do it? Do we use the same beat? Yeah. So I had to recreate the beat. Nenjizimba, like Kali, of course, it's a bit different query, but we got the same elements as Eri, but everything was from scratch. Then she invited Henry Tigan to studio. Newange waka, so yeah, nituchikola.
It was really good. I enjoyed it. It was fun to listen to. Are there any artists or producers that have influenced your style and approach, or influenced your work? Well, I know in the beginning you talked about Swangs Avenue and how you started from there and all that. But are there any other producers or artists that have helped you along the journey or influenced you?
Yeah, they're artist style in Uganda or
anyway.
Yeah, of course, out there, of course, the Nagalanganyo sound wa Timbaland. I used to love his music. He produced for Miss Elliott, Swiss Beats.
Swiss Beats, yeah.
Of course, yeah. Then Pharrell. Then there's this other guy, Yakoleranganyo Kasi, that producer. I forget his name. He used to produce for Kasi. Ryan Raisley. then one of Uganda, of course, Washington, of course, Benon, There was one guy, actually, for him, he kind of mentored me. Now I met him. He's Kingsley. He's a bad producer, like the battalion of Uganda, Avera Sweden. Yeah, he's that guy who yachindaga practical. Like these other guys, what nabalabanga bulabi, Benon again, nemu meeting like once. Those days, but Kingsley, I was with him in studio.
So now that you have mastered music, you know beats, you know everything, I feel like it would be easier for you to become a DJ. Have you thought about jumping into DJing? Because when you know the music, you know beats, you know omanyi flow, or and so have you ever thought about becoming a DJ?
Yeah, by the way, sometimes I mix just binevya waka tulimu party just for fun, but you see, everything is like it's discipline, it's commitment. So I never DJ now. It's murimo. It's not something easy. Zendoza, I'm still comfortable with production.
Yeah.
And of course, soon, mugenda kunda banyo ku TV because I'll be releasing my new music. Yeah.
Nchibuza, because I know there's a few producers. Producer, I think, bakubane ne turntable. Which, because I think it's easier.
Yeah, DJing is easier. Like for a producer, because last techniques that in creation, DJing is very easy because as a producer we master tempo. Kati when I have tempo now, kati nzembera mu tempo ngamanyine notes. Like I know keys. I can even get vocals. Nziteka kati ngaba DJ bakolo bu mashups.
Mashups, yeah.
Now for us we can. Me, I can kill you. Bagenda kukuba then atenkwa tone piano njikubirawo ng'olaba ng'obiraba mudomo ziri omanyi nkubira engoma buli kimu. Yeah, but so we mixing later, I think, with the music, because imagine ngoli kuzi stage, you can mix all that
with everything that we've talked about, everything that's going on in your life, your career, music and stuff. How do you manage your personal life alongside this demanding career? Kubanga, I've noticed you say working out to keep your body health, like okolamuka work out too. But like, how do you manage to? You have a life besides producing music, anything, or bulamubo outside that. And what do you like to do in your free time?
Of course, my free time, because obongo bwange bwinenge gye bukolamu njagala nnyo okumanya ebintu bingi. Era of late I've unlearned and relearned a lot of things. Then of course sports, naye siri nnyo wakapiira yena nenziruka ngena nendaba ebikonde, things like that.
So my final question in this producing, what are your future goals from now? Are there any upcoming projects, events from Under Music? Anything your fans will look forward to or expect?
Of course, production. I'm still there. Nine nyimba zendiokola for different artists, of course, including Zagazillion. Waliwo nyimba zenkole demunji empia. There is Walio Nava, projects are there.
Yeah.
And then also people should expect Andy Music Nangengan Mundaba Nyimba. And please support me in this game. I look at it more mbuno industry tuyinogiyigiriza tukyalimu ekyo tuyina omanya ebintu bingi muno tuyigiriza, and we give what we can so that tulabe mbuno kale. My dream is to see music industry ya Uganda it's on a level whereby tusoje enyumirizaamu mbu an artist also chikuba nobera recognized, respected nga any other business. Atenga ne returns nga nazo ziri realistic.
That's good. And it was amazing talking to you and learning from you, and my listeners will learn a lot from your conversation, walking us in the path of music, production, and how music is in Uganda. I know we could have sat here and talk a lot. That's why I did a podcast. Nyanyo kutula wansi notes n'oyiga n'obuuza ku muntu ebibuuzo by'olina ku mutwe ayi biyambe n'abawuliriza omanyi sometimes ku TV there is a limited time and bakukyaza ku show bagenda kuwa edakiika 3 bagenda kuba bakola ki baate balina okukubamu obulango ate bikisigali naffe tukuba obulango naye when you come on a podcast, you get limited time to talk about things, more details about nebafuna. That's why I love podcasts. That's why I like to sit down with people. About nebava kumboza aba boda ncha yakola kayimba kali ncha ono yakakola. But when you get to sit down with somebody, nakuwa from the person himself nagamba yakonze yakakola akosinze yakakola wanga we have time here and talk about that. So I appreciate you for being here with us.
Thank you.
But I have 3 questions that I ask my guests before I let them go. One of them is, what's a life lesson you've learned in life to this point?
To mind my business, like natuka nenchitegera mbu people are people, like omuntu toina kyosobola kukola nnyo kyamaanyi. Love them the way they are, and buli wobeera, yes, it doesn't matter byonna bye tulimu, you leave your home n'ogende wabweru to hustle. So you find a lot of politics depending on what you do, whether you are an artist or what or you're a businessman bichi. But at the end of the day, woddayo ewaka, are you okay? Are you emotionally fine? Are you healthy? Are you getting what you're supposed to? Oba oliawo webase. So if you wobiraba, bikuteka in a place of you mind your business. Don't try to poke your nose mu bintu by'abantu. Kijja kuyamba nnyo to live a peaceful life. And yes.
The other question is, what gets you excited about life?
Tebakimbuza nkalako ekintu ekyo. Let me see. But the fact that there's still hope to live, there's a better tomorrow. Ekyo keeping excited, like keeping ngenda maaso, cause tewali kitustopinga, tewali kitulemesa kola kyoyina kola okujjako gwe. So
the final question, and this is a signature question for the podcast. Who would you like to see on this podcast next as a guest? And you're going to help me connect me to that person to be my next guest here.
Kale bali badenga babiri naye kankumu.
Also bamba bombi. Jackie Chandiru.
Waliwo Lily. You remember Lily? Yayimba ne Tonics Bera Nange.
Mujukira.
Yes.
Mujukira. Yeah. I would love that. Or na yayimba to my school where we imba den kugambako.
Wali and Wali and she's back fired. So I think
I would love that, and I've struggled to have some female artists could show. Some of them they don't respond, or others, but I would love to have those on the podcast. If you can connect me to them, would love to sit down.
I'll make sure abano.
Okay.
I'll make sure abano wafuna Jackie ne Lily.
Okay, that sounds good. So we have a new sebo wetujoka komesa kano. Hey there, my name is Bonnie Chibuka, the podcast host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Thanks for watching and listening to my podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, leave a feedback on this podcast, so that's how we grow. Thank you very much and be blessed.
Hi, my name is Andy Music. Being here on the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. We've recorded an episode at Dansoft Studios. I can't wait for you guys to check out this episode. See you, get to know more about Andy Music and the music business in Uganda.
Sebo, neanza nnyo kumpa akaddeko. I appreciate okumpa kana akadde twogeremu. Yeah, I've always been looking forward to that. And
Pulidenga sogedde byonna.
Tusobofuna akadde akalala twogera byonna. Naye oyogedde. I think you've talked oyogedde bingi ebisobola okuyamba industry. Wanga wali emboozi
Okay.
endala, I'm always open to have you again for part 2 so twogere kyonna anytime, so it's always open. Omanyi n'abantu tebasobola tuula tuliko nze essaawa namba essaawa emu, abantu abasinga tebasobola tuula mu ssaawa emu ne bawuliriza episodes, so osobola zikola nga bw'obawa essaawa 2 bagenda kuwulirizako essaawa emu, so it's better to just give them that and then we can always have a segment, we can always have another show another time, so
yeah.
kale sebo
Sawa.
neyanza nnyo
Kale, webale.